El Camino Royale football on LA36. Tonight from Northridge, we're at Warriors Stadium on the campus of Heritage Christian. Although it is a home game for El Camino Royale. Their field is not ready yet, so thus they have to play their games, even their home games, on the road. Elko and Heritage Christian, the Warriors. Hello, everybody. My name is Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play along with Paul Zabalik. Paul will join me in a moment. Two hungry football teams. They both lost by 29 points in their opener. Elko lost at Palisades 29-0. And the Warriors from Heritage Christian fell 35-6 at Paraclete in Lancaster. Paul, good to see you again. Glad to have you back. This will be a challenge for El Camino Royale tonight against a very talented Heritage Christian team, but they're young.
Well, thank you, Randy, and it's good to be with you again. I think we're into year 3, and I'm surprised that I've been able to hang in there with you and the dean of San Fernando Valley Media. Yes, you're going to see two young teams tonight. Elko coming off a loss against Palisades, and then clearly Heritage dealing with their own youth and development. And I think, you're going to see some really good football tonight because they're both hungry. They both want to dominate, and they want to demonstrate who's the best team.
Well, we know who the best player is. At least we think we know who the best player is for the Warriors. Shaheed McCullough. He wears number 29, had well over 100 yards last week in the loss, and he broke off a 69-yard run.
He almost scored on that, too. He got caught from behind, but he was really wide open. I mean, he was able to turn the corner, and once he was able to accelerate, we thought he was going to get into the end zone, but he was caught from behind. But he is a true talented athlete.
For ECR, it's all about Jake Shirley. What a terrific two-way player he is. Tight end, defensive end. Where's number 5? We'll see him all over the field.
Well, Jake Shirley is a unique individual. Not only is he a superb athlete, but he's also an academic. He spends time in the classroom. He clearly is a potential college player because of his GPA and the fact that he does dominate whatever position he plays. And again, tonight it should be an exciting game with him going sideline to sideline.
And we'll have the opening kickoff for the Warriors and the Royals next on LA36. This is going to be a lot of fun. The first ever night game played on this field at Heritage Christian. They brought the lights in and see how it plays out.
Well, again, it's going to be an exciting night for Heritage Christian. They get an opportunity to showcase not only their players but their facilities and the fan support that they're going to have. And hopefully it's something that El Camino will get back to pretty soon.
Well, El Camino doesn't play home games. The field has been torn up, and they have to get it resurrected. It's been 14, close to 15 months since game. So that's got to be a little disconcerting, and it's difficult, certainly, to practice on your baseball field every week and then have to go out and play games.
Well, not only that, I mean, again, you get the fact that the players don't have an opportunity to demonstrate their own home facilities and to play at home in front of their fans and basically have an opportunity to showcase what they have available, which helps in exposing their program to everyone in the San Fernando Valley.
Just about ready to begin after the national anthem was played here. Tony Critton will be our lead official. See, the wind is kicking up in Northridge tonight. Still a couple minutes before kickoff. There's always the excitement. Certainly Heritage Christian, coached by Brent Huff, is thrilled to be at home. Even though it's a road game, he was excited. He's ecstatic. And we're going to meet him. Jason Zabalik, the head coach of El Camino Royale, at halftime is going to interview Brent Huff. But Huff is very pleased to get this game. Apparently we're going to have the national anthem now. They had practiced earlier. I don't think I've ever seen that before. We actually had 2 national anthems.
And I think they had a inspirational message also somehow in the middle of that.
So interesting festivities prior to the ball game. Just about ready to go here. El Camino Real in their familiar blue and white, home blue and white. For Heritage Christian, the Warriors will be their black, white, and gold uniform. A lot of emphasis on the passing game for El Camino in their opener. And their young quarterback, Kevin Hawkins, hit 70% of his aerials, but he didn't get the team in the end zone. So they obviously want to score more points tonight. They want to score points. They do need to run the ball, Paul. Last week, the Royals were minus 16 yards in rushing, and only carried it as a team 13 times.
Well, again, what happens in most of those situations is that you try to establish either the run game or the pass game, and again, El Camino couldn't demonstrate that. They were double covering Shirley, and they were double covering Sanders, and they weren't able to get open enough, and they were three and outs, and when they did decide to run the ball, Palisades made the adjustments, and Elko just couldn't get moving.
Well, it's a night game, and I'm sure the players are thrilled about that because it was close to 100 degrees in the valley today, upper 90s, and it's cooled off, but it's going to be in the 80s tonight. But favorable playing conditions for the Warriors and the Royals. El Camino went to the playoffs last year and lost to Fairfax 28-21. There's Jason Zabalik. We'll have Zabalik and Zabalik again at halftime, a conversation with the 2 Zabaliks. And Jason will also, as we mentioned, we'll talk with Brent Huff, the head coach at Heritage Christian. The Warriors are going to get the football first. They have a dangerous kick return guy, number 22, DJ Cole, very elusive. He's back deep along with Austin Evans. El Camino Real Ocintra will kick off. See if Zoenstein does the job. Normally it's Ocintra that kicks off. And number 22 advancing on the ball, and it is Ocintra. And number 22 returning it is DJ Cole. Pesqueda with the tackle.
Yeah, Elko just, again, special teams situations, they've got to be able to get downfield quicker and cover that return. Too much given up here.
Quarterback, number 1. Kenai Langford. He scored their touchdown last week in the loss of Paraclete. Short scamper. He's very quick. Dual threat QB. Good protection and the deep ball to start. He's got his man. What a connection. Bringing it in was Austin Evans. That was some throw by Langford.
Was it intercepted? You can't get a call.
Looked like incompletion.
It was.
That was some throw.
Well, again, when you look at El Camino's history with the secondary, it's a very vulnerable situation for them in the secondary.
Cole running the football. And thrown down by Jake Shirley. That's the kind of effort on defense you'll see all season long from Shirley.
During the run, holding, offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. It'll be first down.
Cody Crittenden, again, our lead official. He's under the weather today. His back is bothering him. So give him some credit for just being out there. Been in the LA City section for a lot of years, a terrific official.
Again, a quick handoff. McCullough is not in there in the backfield, but again, Shirley, sideline to sideline.
Langford pressured. Incomplete. Did as he released the football. Wonderful pursuit coming in for El Camino Real.
And that's one thing that El Camino is going to have to do tonight with him, is to put pressure on him. He's a young quarterback, and the more pressure he gets, the quicker he's going to try to release it.
We've already seen Cole make that wonderful catch. McCullough, expect to see him. He's one of their great players. And Ryan Cummings off the edge is wonderful for the Warriors. Langford showing us a nice arm.
Should be third down.
Yeah, they haven't turned the marker over yet. Langford likes to operate out of the gun. Delayed handoff. Cole still going. Touchdown. DJ Cole. There is a flag out. Let's see if this one stands up.
During the run, holding, offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It'll be second down.
Again, when you start to see those kinds of plays and they're able to turn the corner and get outside, their holding is also an opportunity to happen. And Elko had this problem last year. They have contain issues. They're not able to turn off the outside. And as you can see here, he's just not getting the contain that the defense needs to have.
Cole has nice moves, though, doesn't he? Screen in the middle of the field for Cole. It opens up again. Down near the goal line is DJ Cole.
This is the same problem Elko had last week with Palisades. They threw 3 inside screens and for big gains, and they need to adjust to that. Elko has not been able to make that adjustment on defense, and that's something that has to be done. And they're going to go to this several times. They did it against Paraclete last week.
Still for Langford and Heritage Christian, despite the mistakes on this drive, it's one of their better offensive displays early in the season. Moving the football. It's Cole again. And he walks in. Touchdown, Warriors. So despite 2 holding calls, Heritage Christian able to overcome that and take it into the end zone with DJ Cole.
DJ Cole's doing the job that he needs to be able to do. There's an opportunity, and the offensive line is making the blocks, and he is able to read the blocks and turn it in.
Yeah, Brent Huff said, we have great running backs, not just McCullough, but he loved number 22, Cole. He likes 24, Rossi Cherry, and he has great things to say about Byron Anderson, number 8. So he has very good depth at the running back position. Cameron Regenstrife, number 40, on for the PAT. And it's a 7-0 lead for Heritage.
Same thing again. When Palisades scored on them last week, they threw the inside screen 3 times, and adjustments were not made. And I'm sorry to see that they haven't adjusted to that this week.
And it was set up by the long pass to DJ Cole from Langford.
Well, again, the inside linebackers have to be able to read that. That's an instantaneous read. They're looking at the lineman, and as soon as the linemen start to move forward, that's the indication that the screen's coming, and they've got to be quick on their feet to make that adjustment.
Regenstrife does all the kicking, number 40. He's a very good player. Made a big catch at Paraclete. Had one of the long plays of the night for Heritage a week ago in their loss at Paraclete. Beautiful night. It's cooled off, a little bit of a breeze in the West Valley. And for these players, as the game moves forward, like I said earlier, ideal conditions. Regenstrife with a strong leg. Picked up inside the 10, and great coverage by the Warriors.
Special teams is an issue with El Camino. They're not really recovering the way they need to.
Jalen Sanders had nowhere to roam. He was hemmed in. So it's going to be a long field for an offense that struggled a week ago.
Now, bottom line, they've got to be able to establish the run game, and let's see if they can do that. They've got to control that line of scrimmage. They've got a size advantage on Heritage, and it depends if they're able to execute those blocks. They've got to be able to establish the game and make it a run game.
The diminutive Adrian Walker, 26, is the running back in the backfield with quarterback Hawkins. And it is Walker, and there's nothing there.
Heritage likes to blitz 4 to 5 people inside, and you'll see number 13, Bolt. He'll go from tackle to tackle, and he'll pick a hole and blitz. And if he guesses right, that's a big loss.
Early lead, 5 minutes into the quarter. Second down and 8. They blitz. Hawkins able to get it to Shirley, who had 9 catches a week ago.
Yeah, Shirley is the utility player of the night. He does it all. He receives, he can run, he does reverses, and certainly he's a force on the defense.
Bright young man, very articulate. We had him on our show, SoCal Prep Report, last week. Veteran player, overcoming shoulder issues from a year ago. Says he's 100%. 3rd and 3. Hawkins has Shirley wide open. Nice dance step along the sideline, and he indicates first down. And he's right, but there is a flag out.
During the return, blocking the back above the waist on the offense. That'll be 10 yards as a result of the play. It's first down.
So they get the first down despite the flag.
Those are wasted opportunities. Penalties are play killers.
Warriors key players. Cole's been big early in this game. Already has a touchdown.
We haven't seen McCullough.
Royals key players. Sanders, McCoy, Shirley, Edwards, Hawkins, and Gonzalez up front. He said he was disappointed with his performance a week ago and wants to perform better, although he graded out okay. Bolt with the tackle defensively on Walker.
Yeah, he just hit the hole, and they didn't pick him up.
$8:25 left opening quarter, 7-0. Heritage Christian. Pickup of 3 there. Again, Hawkins was excellent a week ago, hitting 70%. No touchdowns, but no interceptions. But a clean game. Walker running hard. In fact, he's come out of the lineup, and it was Edwards who came in, Joseph Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards is the workhorse of the backfield.
He's a downhill physical runner, also terrific on defense. Edwards checking in, and has it again, and he's tripped up in his backfield. Great penetration there for Heritage Christian, and Rossi Cherry got to him.
He's an outside defensive end, and he contained and caught him.
Evan Hawkins, tall, drink of water at 6'4", sophomore. Tremendous upside, still learning the game. Not a whole lot of snaps in his career. Edwards again. Twisting and turning, but not a whole lot there.
Elko's offensive line is just allowing that penetration from the defense. They're not picking up that linebacker, as we talked about. He's blitzing inside between the tackles, and it wasn't Bolt that time, but clearly the linemen have to keep their heads up and watch for that blitz.
It was Andrew Tadros that made the stop. There he is, number 10, Tadros. Third down 9 to go. Boy, the sun's going down and it's cooling off and it feels good. We're outdoors tonight in Northridge. 3rd down. Let's see if the Royals can convert. Hawkins protected well. Open target is Shirley. Jake looks splendid in the opening quarter.
He's got 2 big receptions, and the one was taken off with a penalty.
It's a strong throw by Hawkins.
He has the arm. He can move down the field with his feet as well. He's just learning the offense and learning the system. Once he gets that down, he will be a force.
Elko trying to counter the score of Heritage Christian.
They've got to dominate the line of scrimmage. They haven't shown that yet.
Caden Jong, number 2, caught 7 passes a week ago for ECR. He's flanked to the left. In the backfield, Walker has nowhere to go.
Their offensive line is not picking up the blitz. That was Bolt. And again, they've got to be able to see him, and they've got to be able to pick him up. He will dominate that line of scrimmage if they don't block him.
6 minutes left in the quarter. There's Nicholas. Boy, he got to the running back in a hurry.
Yep, he hit the hole, and again, he's timing it correctly, and it's just a matter of keeping their heads up on the line of scrimmage and picking him up.
Show the blitz, and they came offside.
That's what Elko's got to be able to do. They've got to be able to
defense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
They've got to be able to adjust their cadence to catch them just jumping off sides. Their defense is reading the cadence and anticipating, and they've got to just alter it, adjust it.
Renokian coming offside, giving the Royals a free 5 yards. With Paul Zabalik, I'm Randy Rosenbaum. This is El Camino Real Football on LA36, the first of 4 telecasts this year for ECR. But again, the question for ECR offensively, can they run the football? Hawkins, just a short gain to John.
If their offensive coordinator can see the center of the field, when those linebackers vacate, that middle of the field underneath is wide open and within 7-8 yards of the line of scrimmage. If their offensive coordinator sees that, that's going to be big gainers for them. That's where Shirley can make a difference in the center of the field. They've got to read 13.
Fast moving opening quarter. Excellent protection. Shirley is open. 1st down, ECR. He runs precise patterns.
He is the talent. I'm surprised that Heritage isn't double covering him.
Unokian throwing him out of bounds. Nice drive for the Royals.
They've got to make the adjustment down here because they're going to try to stuff. Heritage is going to try to stuff those linebackers now and stop the run.
Walker. That's a nice surge by the offensive line. And right behind it, using the wall to fend off the defenders and running with great authority is Adrian Walker.
And you'll notice that 13 Bolt picked the wrong hole. He went to the right side of the line and vacated that space, and that's why the gain was so large.
1st and goal at the 4.
Bolt will tell you where he's going.
Okay, hold up. Dead ball, illegal substitution on the offense. 5 yards, still 1st down.
Well, that'll make the chore a little bit more difficult for ECR. But it's still 1st and goal.
Penalties are drive killers. Momentum killers. And it's a young team. Young teams make those kind of mistakes.
Will scrimmage from the 9. Edwards. He's the power back near the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal.
The offensive line just didn't stop the surge. They got to be able to stop that line of scrimmage surge by the defense and those linebackers. It's just a constant pressure.
A DJ Cole touchdown run has given Heritage Christian a 7-0 lead in this first quarter. 2nd and goal. Hawkins barreling forward. Touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run for El Camino Royals. Kevin Hawkins, the first touchdown, the first points of the year for Elko.
And you'll see the offensive line come together. It was almost like a phalanx. They all just surged to the center, towards the center, and they all just came forward. And I mean, that's what they've got to be able to do. That's the dominant part of what they have to do tonight to make a difference.
Sintra on. His first name is Frank. Kind of looks like Frank Sinatra, so they call him Frank Sinatra at times. For the tie. Well executed. We're even at 7.
El Camino has to dominate like they just did. They drove it all the way down the field, and that takes control.
Well, the Hawkins run, a confidence builder.
And again, you saw that phalanx, as I called it. It's almost like a Roman legion just charging forward and the running back running behind him.
Sintra to kick off. Back deep once again will be DJ Cole, and he's joined by Austin Evans.
And we haven't seen McCullough.
See if he comes out on the second series of downs for Heritage Christian. Of course, they were DJ Cole after DJ Cole. Play after play.
DJ Cole show.
It's fun to watch. Very talented. He's got great feet. There's Jason Zabala. Has to be pleased that his team answered. Has to be pleased his team scored after being shut out by Palisades.
Now they've got to cover. They've got to get downfield and reduce that gain within the 20-yard line.
Cole will pick it up on a hop. DJ Cole to the 29-yard line.
Better coverage this time.
Well, it's been an offensive show, really, although the quarter has gone quickly. 2 sustained drives, 1 apiece.
McCullough is in the game now.
Well, you knew he would sit out long, but they love their running back depth. Of course, El Camino Royal pointing for McCullough, who's wearing 28 tonight. There's Langford. McCullough right next to him. Another deep throw. A little bit too far with that one. Looking to go downfield to Rossi Cherry.
Again, defense on the Elko defensive line. They gave pressure on on Langford now, and he's basically gonna throw it away if they continue to pressure him. That's what he did last week against Paraclete. They turned it over quite a bit because Paraclete put pressure on him.
7-7 ball game. Late in the opening quarter. McCullough's first carry. Not a whole lot there. He's able to surge forward for a couple extra. Turned a minimal gain into some good yardage.
McCullough likes that inside handoff from Langford. If you notice, he keeps it really tight inside, and he's able to read the offensive line blocking as he's grabbing the ball.
Picked up 3, 3rd and 7. They loosen up in the secondary, realizing it's a passing down. Langford has his target, Byron Anderson.
They keyed on McCullough as he came into the flat, and Anderson was wide open.
4th down and 1. And the punting unit is on. Didn't quite get to the first down stick. Excellent tackle downfield by Jaden Williams.
Jaden Williams is a returner from last year. He's one of the leaders on that defensive line, and he's got to step up.
Regan Strife will punt. He's going to run with it. And run successfully. Into Elko territory. To the 40-yard line. Sanders brings him down. Well, they had the field position, and the down and distance was favorable on 4th and 1 to try it, and it worked.
Well, you've got a kicker who is a sideline kicker. In other words, he runs to the sideline to kick the ball, and he saw the opening, and he was able to take it. Special teams issues again with El Camino.
Strife is also a receiver, so he's used to having the football.
And you'll see him go to the sideline before he kicks it if he doesn't get the opportunity to run.
First down, they run it. Quick hitter to McCullough.
They've got to tie up McCullough. They can't let him turn the corner. If they keep him inside with tackle to tackle, they should be able to stop him. But if he gets outside and that they break contain, he can be off to the races.
Had 160-plus yards a week ago against Paraclete. And they'll call his number again. Breaks tackles. Still on his feet. There he goes. Touchdown for the star, Shaheed McCullough, the 5'6" senior. So explosive.
He broke a tackle and he turned the corner. And again, once he turns the corner, it's lights out. He will score. Elko needs to contain on defense. They just haven't been able to do that. They can't let him get outside and let him run.
Regan Strife, who was able to turn a 4th down 1 into a big play and continue the drive on that run on 4th down out of the punt formation into try the PAT. And he's got it. 14-7 in favored Heritage Christian.
Special teams errors allowed that to happen. The punt and now McCullough.
That's some run, isn't it?
He's able to get outside, and that's what they've got to be able to stop.
I like the effort of Sam Sachs of El Camino Real trying to chase him down, but he couldn't quite get there near the pylon.
Last week against Paraclete, the speed that Paraclete had was able to catch him from behind, but Elko doesn't have that speed right now.
Are you surprised the offenses are dominated in this opening quarter?
You ought to be able to see a lot more of that when the run game gets set up for Elko. Then they could start throwing the ball even more to Shirley and to Sanders.
Warriors by a touchdown. Just the second game of the year. This is week 1. Last week was billed as 0 week, as it always is. West Valley had a busy week. I'll tell you about how they fared in a moment as that kick is downfield. Arleta knocked off Chatsworth of the West Valley 15-12. Bill Cohn, the former Chatsworth coach, now at Arleta, beats his old squad. Cleveland, who's really coming on this year, goes to 2-0, 38-15 over Grant. Taft knocked off Los Angeles 28-0. Notre Dame took it to Birmingham 41-0. That surprised a lot of people. And Village Christian over Granada Hills big, 45-8. Any score there that surprises you in the West Valley?
Well, you'd hear that dominant by Birmingham and Granada Hills, but yet CIF programs and Southern Section programs seem to dominate.
1st and 10 for the Royals. There's Birmingham, the number 1 team in the LA City section. We'll see if they're number 1 again next week after being throttled in Sherman Oaks last night. That play was not fluid. It'll cost the Royals 5.
Penalties, killers, penalty killers.
Final seconds of quarter number 1. I think in terms of trying to find number 5. on the outside. Jake Shirley, he's been able to get open in this opening quarter. Hawkins. That one's deflected and incomplete. Wanted Jong on a crossing pattern.
They're playing, when you start to look at the slot, they're looking at Shirley. He's in the slot position. He's not really a true tight end. He does move out, and he has an opportunity to, again, circle into that center of the field, but he didn't do that the last play.
Well, the down and distance is not favorable. You got a young quarterback out there. The field position is working against you. You would think the Warriors will tee off and come after Hawkins.
And the center of the field is open.
They run it. This will be the final play of the opening quarter, and it's not a good one for Elko as the run play with Walker's jammed up. So after one in Northridge, we have a 14-7 lead for Heritage Christian.
You're looking at an Elko team that is making mistakes and killing their own drives. They've got opportunities, but yet they don't capitalize on them, and they're just letting Heritage dominate that line of scrimmage. And you'll hear me say it 50 times a game, but they've got to be able to control it, and they've got to be able to be stronger up front. They're bigger, and they should be able to dominate.
Well, they did move the ball very effectively on that opening drive, and they did get the running game going. So that was something that they wanted to improve on. Obviously, they were struggling a little bit with that last week, and they got that a little rectified in the opening quarter. We'll see if they can continue to move it on the ground. Of course, we have SoCal Prep Report every Thursday night live at 9 o'clock. I'm joined by Tarek Fatal of SB Live. Tarek does a tremendous job covering all the games for SB Live, and he's our co-host, and he brings great knowledge every Thursday night at 9 o'clock right here on LA36. We're live for a half an hour with that program. Third down for El Camino as we begin the second quarter. They'll need 12 to move the sticks.
They can't start 1st and 15 in a series. They've got to be able to gain 5 yards at the first down marker and be able to move it from there. 1st and 15 puts them in a hole.
Well, number 12 has to find 12 yards. Pressured. Flag is out. Hawkins running for his life. A second flag comes out. And Anderson draped all over Hawkins. And the officials will need to sort this out because there was a foul, a hold to start the play, but another foul came in downfield. So Tony will get it all cleared up for us.
4th and 12.
During the run, holding. Offense. That penalty is refused. It'll be 4th down.
So the punting unit is on. Hawkins goes off. I think you're seeing tremendous effort from Hawkins.
It's, again, youth and experience, and he'll get that as we go through week after week. It'll happen. It's just a little early in his career development.
Oh, Centra on to punt. We'll need a good one to change the field position here, because you would think Heritage Christian should be in great field position. Pressure, got off a short kick. And that does not change the complexion of the field position. Ball was down by Lance Wilson.
There was pressure coming in from the left side of the offensive line, and had it been another 1/10 of a second, he might have had a block punt.
That's a tough position for the defense of ECR. Heritage has been able to run the football with 2 running backs very effectively, both Cole and McCullough. And McCullough is in after scoring a touchdown on the last drive. Play fake. Langford's throwing the ball, has an open target. This one breaks. This is another touchdown for Rossi Cherry and Heritage Christian.
He's wide open in the center of the field. There was no one near him. There wasn't a blitz on either, and it's just that nobody picked him up.
Well, the El Camino defense unable to stop the Warriors.
That's a traditional problem right now with this group.
Cheerleaders like it. Regan Strife for the PAT. Looking to make it 21-7. And he's got it.
Elko's defense is problematic. They haven't been able to pick up that receiver inside. It was almost like a center screen again, but he's wide open. They just can't let that happen. It's been 2 weeks in a row now. They're not adjusting defensively.
Well, the biggest issue for ECR right now is they can't stop the run, and that's going to open up the passing game, and it just did.
Yep, exactly right. It's what we talked about earlier. You're going to set up one or the other, and that then opens up the other opportunity with run or pass.
Beautiful pictures in Northridge tonight. Currently, it is gorgeous out. The wind has died down. Doesn't feel like it's in the 80s anymore. Feels like it's more in the 70s. So it's a fun environment, and the fans are enjoying it. Big crowd on hand for the first night game ever at Heritage Christian. See if Jalen Sanders can break off a big one for ECR. Maybe Jalen Carrillo, because he's back there with him. With the kick by Regan Strife through the end zone. No chance for a return.
He has a dominant leg.
Brent Huff, head football coach, had a stellar career in high school at San Fernando. Went on to play at Oregon State. Would have been a #1 draft choice, but got injured. Fell out of the draft. Went into camp with the Chicago Bears. But no question, if he would have stayed healthy, he would have been NFL cornerback. Great career for the Tigers of San Fernando. Played for Tom Hernandez in the Valley. Short one in the flat. Shirley still on his feet. Boy, he's a good player and fun to watch. Jake Shirley.
Sideline to sideline, Shirley.
I don't know how El Camino Real is going to do this year, but number 5 is going to be an all-city player.
There's no question, and he's also a college potential player.
And he's not bad on defense either. He's the leader of the defense, although they've not shown up here in the first half. He has, but defensively they've had their issues. But offensively, Shirley with 5 catches already.
And big gains.
5 catches. He had 9 a week ago. So already in less than 6 quarters, 14 catches for Jake Shirley. And I like this quarterback, Kevin Hawkins. I think he looks good. Just a 10th grader.
He's developing.
Whistles sound. Elko with a timeout.
Yeah, they were running the clock down. They had to call the timeout or they would have lost 5 yards.
Well, that's going to happen with a young team early in the season.
That's the process, and it will take time for that to develop. And you can't expect miracles with 10th graders. They just need to spend time learning the system, and they need to spend time developing.
You know, it's surprising to me as we look at the Shirley catch is coming into the year, you would have thought, hey, the offense is going to take some time and the defense would hold up and keep El Camino around until the offense caught up. What we're seeing here tonight, the offense looks fine, and it's the defense that's been back on its heels.
Yeah, it is. And that's unfortunately been the story with El Camino. They have not been able to make that adjustment. Last year, this year, it's just something that is chronic and they've got to be able to stop that deep ball. They haven't been able to adjust the secondary, and they can't stop the run when they've got a dominant defensive line like they did last year. They still can't stop it.
After the Shirley catch, it's 1st and 10, ECR. Malik in the backfield, number 30. Kona Malik. Hawkins, that one not thrown well.
Again,
Tried to get it to Shirley.
Intended. There were two receivers in the same spot.
That's the first ball that I think that the Hawk would like back, Kevin Hawkins. He knows he misfired on that one. 2nd and 10. Just 2 minutes into the second quarter in Northridge. Beautiful sunset. Sanders, number 1, is a big-time target if they can find him. See if he can stretch the field. This time he gets the protection. And he has John. Caden John, 1st down, ECR.
John was an intended receiver last week, too.
I think they're going to hit him for celebrating, though. We're going to see a 15-yard penalty on ECR.
What you got, Brent? UNF? After the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. The result will be 15 yards and a 1st down.
This is, again, 3rd penalty killer of a drive.
No doubt about it. I mean, he threw the football down, and in his exuberance, I know Caden was excited to make the catch.
The senior can't make those mistakes. That's not something a senior's supposed to do.
Still a 1st down for Elko. A chance to cut that deficit down. Still plenty of time. It's early in the ball game. You have to like the way Elko's moved the ball. Hawkins again. Look at that protection. Now it breaks down and he'll run. And run well. He's strong with the ball.
He's a big man. 6'4", well over 200 pounds.
He's thicker than I thought. I was expected to see a stick here tonight. I'd heard a lot about him. It's my first time watching him play. But he's got some beef. He's in great shape.
He is. He can make the difference once he starts getting the system down. He will be a talent.
The pitch to Malik. Kona running hard. Regan Strife hurls him back.
Elko's got to adjust their cadence. They're just the defensive linebackers for Heritage. They're reading the cadence and they're hitting the line of scrimmage at the exact time the ball snapped, and it doesn't give the offensive line enough time to adjust. So they've got to adjust their cadence without jumping off sides in the process.
1st down, ECR. Hawkins under center. Don't see that a whole lot anymore, do you? Most teams run out of the gun. Malik, short gain as he's tripped up. Bolt's active, isn't
he? He is their spark plug on defense. If he picks the hole and he hits it right, he'll stuff the running back and for a loss. And that's what they did last week, but just didn't anticipate it enough.
Heritage Christian by 14, up 21-7. Under 8 minutes to play, opening half. Good look at Kevin Hawkins, sophomore quarterback. Something to build around, certainly for ECR. Hawkins stepping into that throw for Shirley. Incomplete.
That time he was double covered.
There was 3 defenders in the area. 3rd and 9.
That's the experience that the quarterback needs to have. He needs to see that coverage and not throw there.
Shirley's good, but it's tough to fend off 3. Hawkins again taking to the air. Sanders is loose. Touchdown. Jalen Sanders.
I was about to say, if they've got 3 guys on Shirley, there's Sanders wide open by himself, and they found him.
Well, the receiving core looked great on that drive. John Sanders, who scored it, and Shirley. And again, that young signal caller, Kevin Hawkins, hurling BBs.
Making a difference. He can do that. And the more confidence he gets, the better it's going to be for him.
Ocentra for the PAT. For Conde to hold. Elko did get the answer. Question is, can they slow down Heritage Christian? That kick didn't get there.
Special teams problems again. That's the thorn in the side of El Camino. Special teams, they're just not executing.
Let's go back to that pass to Sanders. Nice job with the catch and the run from Jalen Sanders.
If Shirley is covered, Sanders is going to be open. They've got it, and the youthful quarterback has to be able to read that. So when you start to see the fact that Shirley is the difference maker, they're going to key on him, and Sanders is going to be wide open, and Hawkins has to find him.
Yeah, he also got Jong involved on that drive. It's still a one-score game. It's 21-13. Ocentra will kick off.
Special teams is 1/3 of this game. I remember Don James and I talking about that years ago.
When you were playing at Washington.
When he was the coach at Washington and I was helping him with scouting. And,
Pooch kick and a fair catch.
And he would lecture literally on the special teams being 1/3 of the game, and we need to be good at it.
Well, the Warriors will start from outside their 25. Can El Camino get a stop? Well, they stopped them once. Then on 4th and 1, Regan Strife ran out of punt formation and converted. They've had the ball 3 times, 3 touchdown drives for the Warriors. McCullough with running room. Bouncing to the outside.
Turn the corner, no contain on El Camino.
McCullough hits the hole in a hurry. Look, he got shaken up a bit, though. Stinger. That brings Cole back in on offense, 22, who scored a touchdown earlier tonight.
False start. Offense. 5 yards. Still second down.
Warriors have made some errors.
It's a drive killer for them, too. They had 2nd and 1. Now it's going to be 2nd and 6.
Well, last week, Heritage Christian didn't finish drives against Paraclete. They had 3 turnovers, a muff punt, interception, which was brought back to the 5. They dropped some passes, but they've cleaned it up for the most part here. They've had some infractions, but they've also had some big plays on offense. Quick pitch. Cole. And you can see why Brent Huff likes his running backs. He's got great depth there. Cola's out now, and you have a guy like DJ running it. Jason Zabalik knows his team's in it. They're playing hard. but he obviously needs to see his defense step up. The former head coach at Pierce College, already with a city championship in his bag at El Camino Royale in just a short tenure. There's the screen set up.
Screen.
And it breaks. Big play again. Sachs makes the tackle. And it's Cole, who seems to be an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield.
Inside screen is no adjustments by El Camino's defense. Again, I don't understand that, how you cannot make that adjustment when you were vulnerable last week for three huge plays. And this week, again, they watched the film. They saw that Elko was very vulnerable with that play, and Elko made no adjustment. And it's really sad to see that, because
they'll set this up again for his ball because it was executed well by Heritage Christian.
Exactly, and you'll see the offensive linemen. As soon as the offensive linemen start to make their move forward, that's your key to come up, because that's the screen. It's the indicator that they're throwing a short screen, and Elko's linebackers are not keying on that. They're not seeing it. Neither is our defensive line. Once they see that penetration stop, they need to back off right away and find that running back.
Well, there's been progress tonight for ECR. The offense has had the ball 3 times, and they have a couple touchdowns. Hawkins throwing the last one to Jalen Sanders. Hawkins ran it in from inside the 10 earlier. So the quarterback of ECR has a touchdown running and passing. But can the defense stop the Warriors? That's the biggest question. 52, Jaden Williams in the middle of that front. Maybe he can make a play. From the 48 of the Royals. Quick screen on the outside. Adrian Yu has just 3 yards. They call him Adrian Yu. It's really Adrian Oren Arbarancha. And his last name starts with a U, and the coach doesn't want to pronounce the long name. So he just goes by Adrian Yu, and that's how they talk about him on the public address system as well. 2nd and 8. That was only a 2-yard gain. Back to the ground, assault with Cole. Still going. Finally tackled. Holding on for ECR was Zonenstein, Oren Zonenstein.
Jaden Williams needs to take control of that defensive line. He's the most experienced lineman they have, and he's got to be able to step up.
Here's a chance. 3rd and 7. See if El Camino can assert some pressure on Kenai Langford. Number 1, the quarterback. Obviously, you have to look at what Cole's going to do coming out of the backfield. Trips to the right for the Warriors. A roll and throw. Near side. Captured by Anderson. Boy, they moved the pocket. Langford has the ability to run and throw on the run, and did it nicely to Anderson.
And again, there's contain outside. Shirley was the outside defensive end, and just couldn't make any penetration at all.
Got the first down. See how ball comes out so quickly from Langford. Sachs, by the way, number 11 on defense. He's playing hard, playing from sideline to sideline, but still, as a team, as a defensive unit, no defensive stops from the 35. Another quick one to the far side to Rossi Cherry. He broke for a touchdown the last time he handled the ball. Picks up 6 here.
Langford's getting rid of the ball very, very quickly, and those receivers are not. They're not being covered the way they should in a cover kind of.
Quick handoff. That was a better defensive effort by ECR. Bring up 3rd down.
ECR can make the adjustment with the outside receivers. They can press. They can come up real close to the line of scrimmage and force those receivers to make moves to get open.
3:10 left in the half. Clock is running. Warriors looking to expand their advantage.
Here's where you should be pressing those receivers, but they're wide open.
They run the football nicely. And they have the first down. Yanokian. Ryan Yanokian. And again, there's that depth in the backfield for the Warriors.
Running back by committee, as they say.
That one fooled ECR. They were looking for a pass.
Right, and you saw that the outside receivers were not in a press defense. They just let them get open. And Elko's got to make that adjustment again. They're just not doing that.
So far, Heritage Christian has been flawless offensively. Approaching 2 minutes left in the half. Yanokian, high stepping as he goes. Sacks underneath the pile. Number 11, who's been doing a nice job for ECR, but Yanokian got into the secondary in a hurry, into that second line of the defense.
Heritage is moving that defensive line, which is not what's supposed to happen. Defensive lines are bigger, stronger, faster, and they're supposed to make the stop, and they're just not doing it.
I'll ask you about that after this play. Why Heritage is able to move the bigger bodies. Langford with a flag out, running for his life. Chased out of bounds. Malik was after him. Scurried to the sideline.
It's the only place. Yep. Holding. Offense. It's going to be 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
All right, Paul, why are they able to dominate the line even though they're undersized, Heritage Christian?
Well, you look at the defensive line for El Camino, it looks like they're in a read technique. They're not really penetrating. They're not coming across the line of scrimmage, and they're just sitting there. And once you're sitting without any kind of position, you're easier to move. And there's some double teams that are happening there, and guards pulling. And again, they're just getting movement on those defensive linemen, which shouldn't occur.
Second and long.
There's a screen.
They have it set up, but the throw is low. So it's going to bring up third down and long.
It was wide open again, and you didn't see the defensive lineman stop at all. They continued to rush the quarterback as he was starting to fade back. That's, again, the cue to stop your rush, because that's where the screen's coming.
Adrian had a lot of room to run if that throw was on target.
Oh, yeah. Again, it's wide open, and no adjustment by the Elko defense, and I don't understand that. 3 times last week and already 3 times tonight.
Heritage Christian needs a big play on third down. Under a minute to play in the half. Feeling the heat is Kenai Langford. Improvising, having a target get open for him. Yanokian came back to help his quarterback. And Langford able to find him. That's a great job by Ryan Yanokian, 21, to come back and aid and abet his signal caller.
Again, he was wide open, and they didn't make an adjustment on him at all. It's just the zone collapsed, and he got open.
And there is another flag out.
Well, I saw linemen downfield. I don't know if that's what they're going to call.
Warriors are retreating. The only thing that stopped them has been themselves. What's that old saying? We've conquered the enemy, and the enemy is us.
And it is us. What do they call?
Okay, I'm going to whine. I'm going to whine, Coach. I'm going to whine.
Third and long after the hold. Timeout El Camino Real. Just 25 seconds left in the half.
Well, they better get deep coverage here, because I believe that Heritage is going to throw the ball up and try to score. Did we see what their penalty was?
Yeah, it was a hold, but I like the work of Yanokian because he gave his quarterback a target and came back to him.
He did. That's a experienced player who is able to read those kinds of changes. And those are the adjustments you have to make on the field, and that's a senior who's able to do that.
At halftime, we have you interviewing your son, Jason Zabalik. Of course, I'm working with Paul Zavalek, former star at the University of Washington, and had a lot of years of coaching as well. And we're going to have the two coaches chat about their respective programs. Brent Huff of Heritage Christian, and obviously Jason Zavalek of El Camino Real. Your son, by the way, does a nice job with those interviews.
He does. He's
media savvy.
He does. He has that skill set, which I don't.
Earlier today, I had an opportunity to go to the California High School Hall of Fame, which is at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Interesting, 100 of the greatest players in the history of California going in the initial class. Great names like Brady and Rogers, all played in California. Elway went in. Anthony Davis was there today. Talked with Ronnie Lott a bit. Former great star at Eisenhower and USC and on to the NFL for an illustrious career. Maybe someday one of these guys will get in the California High School Hall of Fame. And also congratulations to our colleague Eric Sondheimer in the media department. He got in for his coverage. Here's a deep throw. Well, didn't quite get it, did he?
He was wide open.
Yeah, number 2 had a chance, Austin Evans.
He was wide open.
Should have caught the ball.
And we talked about that. We know they're going deep, and Elko is not even in the coverage to, even in a semi-prevent to stop that.
Another timeout. See, just a few seconds remaining.
Let's get him in the prevent, coach. Get him in the end zone. Get him in the end zone.
Take another look at that play. There was contact in the secondary as well.
Too much time to throw. We talked earlier about the pressure that needs to be put on the quarterback, and those two guys were battling for the ball. They're going to do it again. Elko's got to be prepared.
Well, it's a 4th down play. There's Jake Shirley leading them both offensively and defensively. Trying to exhort on his defenders. He's verbal as well. He's an outspoken leader.
He takes charge.
He does. Again, very solid GPA, high academic scholar athlete. He'll be fun to follow this year. There's some Elko fans saying defense. Can they get a stop against Heritage Christian? Will they get that stop here? Langford winding up again and throwing a deep ball. They battle for it, and it's incomplete. Intended for Regan Strife. Terrific defense in the secondary by Shane Bogas.
You knew they were going there.
Bogas finally gets Elko a stop.
He almost intercepted that as well.
There's 10 seconds left. Take a shot here, or do you sit down on the ball and go to the locker room and just reorganize?
Go to the locker room and tape him up.
You don't want to take a shot down the field?
Nope.
Especially with a young quarterback and a young team. So,
although you never know what Coach Hayashida might pull out here.
Rick Hayashida's been around for a long time, and his offense has been good. But it looks like they're going to kneel down here and go to the locker room, and then we'll meet the two coaches. The kneel down will take us to halftime. 21-13 at intermission for Heritage Christian. Like the work, though, of number 12, Kevin Hawkins. Throws for one and runs for another. But the offense of Heritage Christian scoring 3 times. They only had the ball 4 times. The only time they were stopped at the end of the half. So that'll take us to our break at 21-13. Let's meet the coaches, Jason Zabalek and Brent Huff of Heritage Christian.
I get to be joined right now by the wonderful head coach, Coach Huff of the Heritage Christian Warriors. And I know it's been a crazy week, Coach, and going back and forth with the scheduling conflicts and everything we had to do to make sure that this game was going to be here and on TV and all that kind of good stuff, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and introduce your program and some of the things that you guys do well over here.
Brent Huff. I'm the head football coach here at Heritage Christian School. And thanks, by the way. This is an honor and a privilege to be standing here with Coach Sabalo from Elko High School. I've been here right before COVID. I took over the program, and at that time, I think we probably had about 26 kids in the program. We've gotten up to about 50-something kids in the program, so we're building. We're up and coming. We are young, to say the least, but we've made a tremendous amount of progress. The kids are definitely committing themselves to the long haul of football. It's not just the summer. We start off in January, and then we continue on. It's basically year round. Football is year round, and so we've been working since January, and now it's finally here. We had a game last week, and now we have this game, and a lot of we're excited about tonight. This is the first game here at night on this campus. So it's
first game ever.
First game ever at night. Wow. So it's definitely an honor to be the head football coach for this moment.
That's great, Coach. Now, you talked about starting when COVID was working at its peak, and I took over at El Camino the same time at the end of June, early July to take a program through the pandemic. Talk a little bit about some of the struggles that you had with your program getting it off the ground and building.
The struggle when COVID hit was, you had to come up with a plan to even be able to work out, in the weight room, even to be on the field, because we had social distancing. And so we had to work in cohort groups and trying to make that work and sending a few kids in the weight room at a time, a few kids on the field at a time. But, it was something that none of us had expected or even had experience with or were even prepared for, but it was something that we were able to do with the support of the school, the administrators here coming up with a plan, and then us understanding the importance of executing the plan during that challenging time of going through COVID and having to work through and trying to do our best to ensure that no one got sick.
That sent shudders up my spine just remembering those times in the cohorts and having to have the group of 10 kids start at one time, and then you had to have the next 10 kids show up 7 minutes later so that you could stagger it in order to have that opportunity. But not only that, but we've dealt with so much trauma. A lot of these kids were traumatized, not just from the death of parents and loved ones, but from not being socially active. And, tonight is a culmination of that, so to speak, with not just your kids, but our kids as well that had to go through that experience. Now, you guys, we're going through something still as we speak with the field. And when we came here, we practiced against Coach Huff and Heritage over the last couple summers. We'd run an 11-on-11, 7-on-7 during the summer. Coach graciously hosted us, and it was a great time. I think the kids got a lot better and got a lot out of it. And we'd always talked about coming together and doing this game. But this is a brand new, beautiful field that you guys turned around since the last time I was here last summer. Talk a little bit about that.
This is awesome. Long time waiting. It's here. It's down. We couldn't wait. We were glad to step off of the turf that was here and allow those individuals that came in to work and get this field going. We're grateful to our administrative board, our board of directors, all those that played a role in putting this together, making this happen for us. And we're really excited about the opportunity of getting out here and playing on it.
When you get a chance, don't forget to give me that business card of the Field Turf company that you guys use for this field. I'd like to give them a phone call and see what they have to offer us. So one other thing that I wanted to talk to you about a little bit was you're up and coming through the years in the San Fernando Valley. I remember getting a chance to meet with you as I was recruiting the area at the junior college level. Talk a little bit about where you've been and the different stops that you've had over the years.
Different stops that I've had as far as coaching is concerned. I actually started out at Cal State Northridge. When they had their football program there, I was fortunate enough to be there for 3 seasons.
With Coach Kieran?
With Coach Kieran, Coach Fenwick, and who was the other? Coach Ponciano. So I was a secondary coach there. I've coached for a short time over at Pierce College, briefly with the secondary there, COC briefly, and then I started off as a freshman coach, actually at Golden Valley High School. I was moved up to Santa Clarita and was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to coach the freshman team there. And then from there, I got my first call to be a head football coach at St. Genevieve High School. And from there, it was Viewpoint School, was a head coach there. And now I'm here at Heritage Christian School.
Fantastic. So we have multiple things in common in coaching at different spots, especially the junior college level and in the high school. But you know what, Coach? I really appreciate you guys coming on TV with us today. We hope to give you a good challenge this evening. And, all we hope is for everybody to come out healthy and happy and having fought a good, hard football game.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Glad you all are here. As you stated earlier, we had some challenges with the scheduling of it, but we were able to work together to get it done. So we're excited, looking forward to, and as you stated, we want to make sure at the end of the game, everyone's healthy.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're at the break. Love that conversation with the two coaches. It's 21-13, Heritage Christian leading. Jason Zabalek's pretty good asking the questions. Now we're going to hear him answer some questions in a segment we love. We did it last year. Zabalek talking to Zabalek. Let's check that conversation out.
Okay, Coach, you're coming off last week's game against Palisades. You've got the first half under your belt today. What do you see happening in the second half, and what do you think that the adjustments that are going to be necessary for this game?
Well, last week we really got a chance to see our sophomore quarterback, Kevin Hawkins, do a really good job in his first real football experience, going 21 for 30 at a 70% completion percentage clip. And it really helped us get the pass game off the ground. Tonight we're really looking to help the run game, and that's something that we focused on all week long in practice, and hopefully putting a good foot forward in that phase of the game as well, not to mention on special teams.
And you've got a very difficult schedule this year, especially West Valley League. But your non-conference games are also going to be a challenge.
And at the end of the day, one of the things that we love to do at El Camino is just to make sure that we have an opportunity to let the kids compete and measure themselves against a good thoroughfare of opponents. And with that being said, scheduling a team like a Heritage Christian and a Southern Section opponent once at least during our non-conference schedule really helps give us that ability to set the stage for the always difficult gauntlet of the West Valley League, which is going to be even tougher this year.
Right, and you've got some teams that have already won. Certainly you're looking at Birmingham as a challenge. You're looking at Cleveland. We've heard that Coach Gunny improved considerably. And going into the regular season will certainly be a challenge. But you still have some non-conference games. You've got Franklin, you've got North Hollywood, both strong programs this year.
Yeah, and North Hollywood's coming off of a good jump from Division III to Division II, and there's not an easy opponent on the schedule. And just like I tell the kids every single day, having to fight and practice on a baseball field that's not even normal dimensions is you're going to face adversity every week from here on out for the rest of your lives. So let's go to battle, let's go to war, and let's try to beat some tough opponents and put ourselves on the map.
Well, that's a very interesting point. Football has taught adjustment, being able to change in midstream, being able to focus on task. And certainly you have had that challenge this last two seasons, and hopefully it'll get better, and hopefully they'll have an opportunity to do what they say they're going to do and get it done for the kids' sake, if nothing else. And basically, are you looking at a home game at all this season?
We're very hopeful for a home game towards the latter half of the season, but it really is difficult going into other people's domains with their bands and their cheerleaders and their fan base. And once again, we were coming to the game today on the bus, and I was talking to my coach, my assistant head coach, Coach Duran, about how difficult it is to make sure everything's on the bus, everything is not forgotten. It's a pretty stressful situation having to travel every week. So it has been difficult on everybody, but you know what? We make do and we put our best foot forward.
Well, we noticed that last week against Palisades, they had a full house. It's fun playing at home. You get an opportunity to share this opportunity with not only your players, but with the student body. So we hope that comes together pretty soon for you. And as far as tonight, continue doing what you're doing, and hopefully we'll be able to get this all on the board.
No, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity once again to be on LA36 and Randy and the whole LA36 crew. I mean, this is something that's so awesome for the kids and giving them the exposure to be on TV. I mean, we went 4-0 last year on TV. We hope to put on a good show this year. But like I said, we're gonna battle or die trying.
Well, we don't want them to die trying, but they did give effort in the first half. They do trail here against Heritage Christian 21-13. They did mention he's got to play a good North Hollywood team. That'll be next Thursday at North Hollywood. 7 o'clock kickoff, and the Huskies are coming off a 56-15 resounding victory over Canoga Park. Randy Rosenblum with Paul Zabalik, and Paul, obviously, El Camino defensively got a stop at the end of the half, so a little bit of confidence for the Royals.
Let's hope that they made the adjustments defensively that they need to do, and that special teams also make the adjustments, and that they come back in and play hard.
Some highlights from the first half, and we had a few, didn't we? Early on, it was the DJ Cole show.
No McCullough. Cole did it himself.
And then Hawkins with that quarterback sneak carry, burrowing his way into the end zone. Here's a pass to Shirley, and he was outstanding in the first half.
Made a bunch of catches, gained a lot of yards, and demonstrated his skills.
And then McCullough came in and broke one for a touchdown.
And it's the Cole and McCullough show.
And the Rossi Cherry show. This is a pitch and catch for a score. And the first 3 times Heritage had the ball, they scored. Here's a toss to Jalen Sanders. BAT failed there, brought it to 21-13. Aaron Anderson on the sideline. Pretty good hit there from Sam Sachs.
That's part of the contain issue that El Camino's got to be able to make the adjustment. They've got to stop that inside screen. They've got to be able to stop the deep throw and pressure this quarterback. If they pressure number 1 Langford, they will get some turnovers.
Well, 21-13, Heritage, last time they had it, they did get stopped, but they throw it into the end zone. They were able to move the ball each and every time. El Camino offensively was good. Shirley was tremendous. The outside receivers, Jong made a catch or two and broke one of them. And obviously Sanders had a big play for a score. So the offense moved the ball. Defensively, what do you want to see from El Camino in the second half?
I want to see their defensive line penetrate. I want to see an attack defensive line. I want to see the linebackers pick up receivers coming up underneath within that 7 to 8 yard from the line of scrimmage. I want their secondary to be alert. I don't want anybody to get deeper than the deepest defender. And if they can make those adjustments at halftime, they have a chance to win the game.
And if you're Brent Huff at Heritage, you have the lead. You're up 8 points. They're just now coming back onto the field. They're a young team, and this is the first time they've tasted an advantage this season.
Well, they're the ones that are executing right now. Their defense is playing strong. They're an attacking defense. You see Bolt, who's able to penetrate the line of scrimmage. He's made some very good plays in the backfield because he was able to anticipate the cadence, and he hit the hole right at the correct time. And the offensive line for El Camino couldn't pick him up. And they've got to be able to see him, and they've got to be able to block him wherever he is. Whatever hole he picks, they've got to see him and block him.
Even though El Camino got shut out last week 29-0 to a very good Palisades team, which is in the top 10 in the LA City section rankings, I like the attitude of this team. They came onto the field and talking to the players. They believe they're going to win this football game. They may not. They're obviously down 8 here going into the second half. But they're still, it's early in the year, they're a very confident team.
They're confident because they're dealing with adversity. They're dealing with the cards stacked against them. But they're coming back. They don't give up. They don't quit. They're tenacious. And I got to give.
And that's a credit to this young guy, Jason Zabala.
To the head coach, because he is the standard bearer. He is the one that keeps them focused. He's the one that's the rah-rah, and he's the cheerleader of that team. And he steps up, and they follow him. And the talent needs to develop. They're, as we said, a young team, and they need to be able to mature very quickly in the schedule that they've got.
Well, coming into the year, Birmingham was not only the decided favorite in the West Valley League. Everybody said a young team that won their 3rd consecutive LA City Section Open Championship would be a lock to win the West Valley. But then you look at their score last night, and we mentioned it in the first half. They went to Sherman Oaks, and they were battered by Notre Dame. The Knights beat them 41-0. I think that opened the eyes of everyone, and I know Notre Dame's much improved. They got a new coach in Yabu, and they execute really well. They're just better than they've been in the last few years. But it still said, hey, wait a minute. Maybe Birmingham is beatable.
When you're starting to play Southern Section teams consistently, it's going to make you better. And Birmingham doesn't do that very often. But yes, when they do step out of their comfort level, they're challenged.
Well, they won their first game of the year, did Birmingham against Royal, 60-0. I want to remind everyone during the week, Wednesday night, Rich and Bob have a nice show for you at 7 o'clock. They do an hour. And then 9 o'clock on Thursday, we have SoCal Prep Report. So in-studio sports shows, all the prep information you need. Wednesdays at 7. That's Prep Sports Night Live. Hour. They have a really good time. And then on SoCal Prep Report, I'm joined by Tarek Fatal of SB Live. And we break down games from around the city and the southern section. And here, of course, it's the city against the southern section. Heritage Christian from the CIF southern section. There's their head coach, Brent Huff. And again, he was a tremendous defensive back in the Valley at San Fernando High School. Went on to be all Pac-10, I believe it was Pac-10 at the time. They've changed a few times over the years, haven't they? And unfortunately, that conference is going to go by the wayside, one would think. And years gone by, Huff was an all-conference player in the Pac-10.
In my day, it was the Pac-8.
I remember that day. Right now, it's the Pac-4.
It just aged me.
Well, the Royals are going to get the football first. Let's see what they can do with it. They're down 8 as we move into the third quarter. Cameron Regenstrife, 6'1", 185-pound senior. Pretty good leg. He can kick field goals 40-plus. Punts around 45 yards. So number 40's a very good player. We saw him fake the punt and run for a first down to keep a drive going and culminated in a touchdown. So he's a multi-purpose athlete.
And my guess is you're going to see Heritage Christian just continue doing what they're doing. There's no real adjustments they need to make. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. They're dominating the receiver core. And my guess is they'll just continue doing what they're doing.
Well, Regenstrife will advance on the ball. The second half commences. Here we go. This one is returnable for Walker. Tackled by Aiden Williams, a junior for the Warriors. Let's see what the offense can do to begin the third quarter. Had it 3 times.
Offense. 10 yards from the end of the run. Be first down.
They had it 3 times in the first half and scored 2 touchdowns, but now they're going to have a long field after the infraction.
Special teams errors, penalties. Can't continue to do that and win games.
Puts added pressure on a young offense and a young quarterback. But they responded well in the opening half. Again, they want to run it tonight, try to establish the ground game. A short one there for Walker.
Bolt just blitzed right into that hole, and he was able to just shut it down.
Second down. Gain of 6. Pretty good movement up front from the offensive line on that one. Walker's not in the ball game right now. It's Malik. So Malik is the setback. Got 6 on that carry. Hawkins. Patient in the pocket, and he finds Shirley.
Shirley had 3 men on him at that time. The ball was thrown perfectly.
And I mentioned it. I love the patience displayed there by the young quarterback. But that pocket starting to break down. He held his footing, held his poise, and found his all-star. First down, ECR.
They've got to stop Bolt from penetrating that line of scrimmage. You've got to adjust that cadence that we talked about earlier. They've got to make that anticipation a mistake on Heritage's part. Make them cross the line of scrimmage.
On a warm night, can ECR wear this Heritage Christian team down? That's a question. They're bigger. Hawkins running to the 31-yard line. And again, Bolt's there, number 13. Boy, he's been in on a lot of tackles.
He's their spark plug on defense. He's the one who sets the tone. He makes the big plays, and he shuts down the drives. They've got to be able to block him. They've got to see him and pick him up.
Hawkins able to get 5 as he scrambled forward. First 2 minutes of the third quarter. Royals down 8.
If Elko can continue this drive and score, that'll set the tone for the second half.
Pitch play. That's the power pitch. And Malik with a nice effort. First down, ECR. Again, I think they're going to try to wear Heritage down with the bigger line.
They have that, and they've got to be able to set that tone, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of the game.
Again, the power pitch. This time, the Warriors are ready for it. They turn it over.
Bolt.
He stole the football. Opportunistic.
It was Bolt. He got right there and was able to strip it.
He stripped it,
yep.
And Anderson recovered it.
Yep.
And Malik cannot believe he lost the ball. And that sets up the Warriors in great field position. El Camino with the timeout. Let's go back to the fumble. Here's the strip. Anderson with the recovery. But it was 13 who made the play.
Bolt.
That might be the biggest play of the night when we look back at this one. Because that sets the tone. You say, hey, if El Camino can come out here, go downfield, score a touchdown, perhaps tie the game. Of course, had to have scored and converted too. With the turnover, it gives an opportunity to the Warriors to put more pressure on El Camino Real.
And I anticipate that they're just going to try to grind it out now and score and run time off the clock and, again, try to dominate. They've got Cole and they've got, I don't know if McCullough came back out or he's still hurt.
Cole is out there.
Right,
2.5 minutes into the third quarter and a golden opportunity for Heritage Christian.
They've got to penetrate that line of scrimmage, defensive line.
Langford looking to throw it. As an open receiver, and it's Cole again. DJ Cole. First down, Heritage Christian. Warriors are going faster. They've picked up the tempo. At the line of the scrimmage in a hurry. And a handoff. There goes Cole. Touchdown.
You will not see a blue jersey outside that defensive end. There was no contain. Again, that's a serious question about their defense. You don't see a blue jersey outside of that tackle.
So the turnover is costly. The Warriors capitalize. Second touchdown of the night for DJ Cole. Regan Strife looking to add one more on. They fake. They're going to throw for it. They get the 2. DJ Cole again. the touchdown of Cole, and then Cole catches the 2. First the TD.
Not a jersey in sight. Not a blue jersey anywhere. You're not going to win games without contain on the defensive ends. There's not a blue jersey around them.
And then Cole captured the 2-point conversion. So it's a 16-point lead. And for ECR, now they're going to have to get to work.
Young teams make young mistakes.
Returnable. Walker is hemmed in. Excellent coverage down the field.
Heritage just penetrated again. They weren't blocked. Nobody was blocking those defenders coming down the field. They just let them through. Special teams, third of the game.
Another long field for the Royals. Oh, you know, they have the targets: Sanders, John, Shirley. One would think they may abandon the run game here pretty soon. Forced to throw it down 16. Still a lot of time, though. Not a whole lot of confidence in the run game so far. Just off the fingertips of Shirley.
He was double covered again. That means that Sanders is open.
A near miss.
He had 3 defenders around him.
Adrian, you might have got a finger on that ball and made it tougher for Shirley to reel it in. Second down and 10. And El Camino dropped their opener at Palisades. Heritage Christian lost to Paraclete in Lancaster a week ago. Just week 1. Last week was billed as 0 week. That's why this is week 1. Second and 10. Pressure. Hawkins with a nice job of getting out of there, turning a negative into a positive.
He's got the feet, he could move. Again, he's able to see that and make the adjustment.
Player down for Heritage Christian. So a timeout for the moment.
He sees that his receivers are covered. There's no one open. And so he's going to run with the ball. He breaks 2 tackles in the process.
And he's physical running with the football. He's a big kid.
And he protects it. As he matures, as he gets more experience, he will be a real factor in Elko's offense.
Of course, we have Prep Sports Night Live Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. Rich Estrella, the host there. You have a good time. And then, of course, on Thursday nights, SoCal Prep Report, another program that's live. Tarek Fatal and myself. I think we have Harry Welch booked for next week. He went into the California Hall of Fame. As you take a look at ECR.
A true coaching legend.
Yep, he's the only coach in the history of California to win state championships with 3 different schools. Canyon out in the Santa Clarita Valley, St. Margaret's, and Santa Margarita, all won state crowns.
And there was rumors that he was coming to school in a helicopter.
He told me a couple of years ago he wanted to come back and coach. He's still retired. Third down and short. Long signal count. Hawkins. No chance. Rossi Cherry, number 24, filtering through. And you can see Rossi's dinged up a little bit.
He's been playing every down.
4th down, and the punting unit is on. Heritage Christian in complete control of the game with 7:50 left in the third. Osintra will punt from inside his 10-yard line. And again, the Warriors figure to get terrific field position.
This you'll see as a special teams problem where the player comes on late. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know who's playing where. And they've got to be able to make that adjustment on the special teams.
A very fine punt by Osintra all the way down to the 34-yard line of the Warriors.
It's the best special teams play of the night.
You know, we have a fine crew that works with us at LA36, and I want to mention Gladys Valiente. Now, Gladys, happy birthday. Young lady. And she does a terrific job, and it's Gladys's birthday today. So a shout out for Gladys. Happy birthday. There she is. Wave to the, come on, you can wave. Big smile. There's Gladys. Her birthday, and she's working. How about that? All right, here we go. Back to action, and Cole doing his thing. DJ crossing the 40.
3 missed tackles. They're just running the standard inside run. I mean, there's nothing really tricky about this. They just hand off the ball, and he takes it.
It's been a tough night for the defense. They just have not been able to slow down the Warriors.
You got to give them credit, though. They're talented runners. They're talented athletes at Heritage Christian.
And they're deep in the running back position. Here's Cole again. Shirley in the mix for the tackle. For 5. Nathan Alvarado is well involved in that stop. Cole's got 2 touchdowns in his hip pocket already tonight.
And the expected McCullough is not on the field. We thought we'd see a lot more of him tonight.
Oh, when he's in there, he was effective. Broke for a touchdown.
But we think he got hurt.
Yeah, we do. Didn't look like when he went off, he was at 100%. 1st and 10. Warriors. Anderson on the end around. They're surely coming across the field to get him.
Sideline to sideline. Shirley's one of the guys that can do that. And that's your contained person, and he was there to stop that.
All right, you mentioned you think he could have college potential. Where do you see him? What level?
Well, I probably see him more on the Division II level. I don't know if he's got the size for a Division I program, but Division II, there are programs that can take that talent, and especially when you're an academic in the process, you can do a lot of difference.
Well, speaking of difference, there's Cole again on his way into the secondary, and Jong finally brings him down. There's a flag out. See if this one stands. Well, they're not missing McCullough when you have Cole on the field. Tony will give us the indication. Tony Critton.
What we got? Oh.
Well, that's an area where the Warriors are going to need to clean up. We've had 3 or 4 of those this evening.
You know, as a former offensive lineman, I can tell you that if a referee wanted to, he could probably call holding on every play because there's constant activity going on the defensive line with offensive linemen. But it's a judgment call, and it has to be really obvious.
Second down and 11. must stop for El Camino, one would think. Langford dancing, improvising and finding you, who dropped it, fell back on it. Adrian, after the catch, lost the handle, but he had the presence of mind to go back and get it with another hanky on the field. A legal man
On the
downfield.
offense.
If you watch the defensive line for El
52.
Camino, they stand straight up. They're not penetrating the offensive line. That's the problem. Again, if you look at it, they're not penetrating. They're not attacking. They're standing straight up and they're getting blocked.
This quarterback, Langford, though, can run. And,
Yes.
in the pocket, he can give himself extra time. He elongates plays. Because of it, it's really tough to defend.
He's the 12th man. He's got the effect of running, passing, and throwing.
They go back to the Heritage Christian 40-yard line. They need 16 for a first down. So Heritage, who knows how many points they'd have if they would have cleaned up some of the penalties. Already have 29 up there. Langford hit. Shirley got to him. Ball came out. See if he was down. Jake Shirley with the sack. It's a sack, no fumble. What an effort by Shirley. We saw him on the earlier play going sideline to sideline. Now he gets the sack.
He comes in from that defensive end spot. He was unblocked, and Langford held the ball too long.
He had time, but nobody got open.
And Shirley was unblocked.
See if Shirley can go after him and get him again. 3rd and 25. To the sideline. Cherry is open. Cross the 50-yard line. Rossi Cherry. Again, Langford poised in the pocket. He has that mobility, and he finds Cherry. Now, remember, they needed 25. It'll bring up 4th down and 5. So he picked up about 20 yards on this play. Now you can go for it.
There were 4 missed tackles and too much cushion by the defensive back.
Heritage looking for a knockout punch. First night game ever at Heritage Christian. By the way, the lights look pretty good. Flag, too much time.
Offense. 5 yards. Still 4th down.
How do you punt the ball? That's the question. I think you do. Here comes the punting unit.
Well, you've got the punter who's going to run from where he's at to the sideline before he kicks it to decide whether or not he should run it. That's the technique that Heritage Christian has adopted, and that's a pretty similar technique a lot of the Division I punters do now. You'll watch, he'll run to the sideline before he kicks it. Oh, he saw the rush.
You saw Jake Shirley. Nice job. Roll. Got into the end zone. It's a touchback. Despite the effort of DJ Cole to get it at the 1. Couldn't quite get there.
That was a big leg.
I like Regan Strife. He's a good player.
He's got a big leg. That makes a difference in a lot of games. When you can kick a field goal from 40 yards, or you kick a punt and you just, you get somebody deep in their own territory. Let's see what Coach Hayashida pulls out here.
Rick Hayashida, venerable veteran coach of El Camino Real, the OC. He's been a head coach many times over the years. Chatsworth, he had some great teams there.
He was also the El Camino City champion head coach that my son played on.
Sure.
Back in the 90s.
In fact, Jason Zabalik and Coach Hayashida been involved in both championships.
Yep.
In El Camino history, both playing and coaching. Well, Elko got the defensive stop to stay in the hunt. See if the offense will respond. Hawkins to the air, too far for Shirley. Byron Anderson with excellent secondary coverage.
Bolt was unblocked. He almost sacked the quarterback. He got in there again. He's anticipating the count. They're not changing their cadence. They're just not adjusting to that. And Heritage is reading it and anticipating the snap. You watch Bolt 13 and you'll see he'll be able to anticipate the snap of the ball.
What is Heritage doing differently defensively in the second half? Because they're doing a better job.
They're doing the same thing they did in the first half. They haven't made really any adjustments. They're continuing to put pressure on the quarterback.
And here's Bolt again getting to him.
Yep. They're just not picking him up. And they need to do that, and they're just not doing. The offensive line isn't doing the job.
Nicholas Bolt makes things happen all over the field.
And from what I understand, he's a sophomore. Is that correct?
Bolt is a sophomore. Coach says he's a natural player.
And apparently his father played at El Camino Real.
And the blocking didn't hold up that time. See that Williamson got in there first, and then Bolt cleaned up. Third and long. Get it here. Heritage again will get great field position.
Well, they brought the house this time.
Dangerous play. Incomplete. Trying to find Walker.
They brought 6.
And the offense has stalled here in the third quarter. That's a credit to the Heritage defense.
Yeah, they're not making any adjustments at all, Randy. They're just doing what they did in the first half, and they're
playing
them
better,
down.
though. They are playing better.
They're playing with more confidence. They're playing with more intensity because now they see they've got an opportunity to win and to put it away.
And they played well, Heritage, on defense last week, even though they lost. It was the turnovers by the offense that really cost them. They were pleased with the defensive effort a week ago in the loss at Paraclete. Osintra with the punt. On the turf, he gets a favorable roll, but still excellent field position for the Warriors. With just over a minute to play, minute 21 to be exact in the third quarter. Big guys up front are pretty good. I love Cove Coronado, the center. Just a sophomore. Again, we talked about how young this football team is at Heritage Christian. And they're going to build some confidence. And a fraction goes against ECR, taking the ball inside the Royals 40. Cole bouncing to the outside. DJ Cole still going.
On the run for Heritage is number 22, DJ Cole.
Another first down. Well, this team from Northridge, the Heritage Christian Warriors.
No contain on the outside for El Camino.
Boy, they're playing with confidence. Out of the southern section. Again, it's Cole. Flags all over the place. He's going in for the score, but we'll check the marker.
During the run, holding, offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, it'll still be first down.
This could have been worse if they didn't have these holding penalties. They could have had another 15 points.
5 holding fouls tonight against Heritage Christian, who next week on Saturday night. A week from tonight, we'll host Wainimi out of Oxnard. Boy, Cole runs with great authority. Already has 2 scores, would have had a third, but it's called back. Final minute of the third quarter.
Not a blue jersey on the outside of that defensive end. Nobody coming up, nobody forcing.
A jet sweep. Here comes Cherry to the near side, and he's dragged down by Sachs.
On that run for Heritage is number 24, Rossi Cherry.
Turn the corners. That's just dangerous every time they do that.
Rossi Cherry caught a ball and broke one for a touchdown in the first half. He's another one of these electrifying offensive weapons for Heritage Christian.
Again, you look outside, there's nobody there.
Might be the final play of the quarter. Let's see if Heritage wants to snap it. They don't. So that'll take us through 3 quarters. The Warriors are sitting in a pretty spot right now.
Well, they had that score, and again, holding penalties will kill you, and it killed their drive. It killed 2 drives where they should have scored. And they're a young team, so they're making the same mistakes, but they're executing much better than El Camino. There's no question that their offensive line is dominating El Camino's defense.
They have a running game. That's the key to the game. Usually if you look at a box score of a football game, most of the times, the team that runs the football better is going to win the game. It sets up everything.
And on paper, it looked like El Camino was the ones that should have had that.
The fireworks tonight in Northridge, the offense, the running attack, and the big plays of the Warriors. By the way, and again, I mentioned it a few minutes ago, these lights that they brought in, these temporary lights, again, they've never had a night game here because they don't have lights at this facility. I think the lighting's pretty good. And, of course, the fans are helping out with the Thundersticks.
Well, it speaks to the administrative support for their sports.
Well, I want to thank Mike Johnson, the athletic director here at Heritage Christian. His staff doing a nice job accommodating LA36. Of course, Jason Zabalik and everybody at El Camino are thrilled to work with them again this year. We'll have games with Taft, Chatsworth, and Granada Hills down the road. We're going to take a little bit of a hiatus. Come back on the 29th. See the likes of Taft, Chatsworth, and as I mentioned, Granada. An opportunity for Heritage to put the ball game away in great shape, even if they don't score. But another one here would just basically put it out of sight. What have you liked tonight about El Camino?
I like number 12. He's really shown some maturity. He's shown some real talent. He's able to run the ball, and he's able to do some special things.
We're down an 8 play. They elect to run it. Tells you they may want to go for it on 4th down. Unfortunately, we have a Royal player down. The last thing you want to see. So the teams will go to the sidelines for the time being.
Mr. Hawkins is the difference for El Camino tonight. He's shown some real talent, and so Jake Shirley, obviously, and Sanders, who we haven't seen much of at all.
Yeah, Jalen did catch a pass for a touchdown. Time has been taken with the injured player. There's Hawkins. Again, he hit 70% of his passes in week 1 against Palisades. Got his first touchdown of the year running it, and his first touchdown of the season passing it tonight.
As he evolves, he's going to get better and better.
But they have to, if they're going to do damage this year, is they have to establish a running back and a running game. And they have some transfers that we're going to talk about in a moment. There's that last play. Quite a collision there. An El Camino player is down. Help is coming for ECR. Transfer players coming in and won't be eligible. Well, some of them could be eligible for North Hollywood. So they have Deion Coulter, a wide receiver who they think is just terrific. Fortunately, the ECR performer is up. Appears to be okay. It's Sam Sachs, number 11. Favoring his right ankle. And Sam's really right in front of us. We're down on the field tonight calling the game. He's a great kid with a delightful personality, but he's in pain as he walks over to the sideline for ECR. He is able to put pressure on the left ankle, so that's a good sign. What do you think? That's about a third moon, a fourth moon, quarter of a moon maybe? 4th and 5 for Heritage. And they run it. And they push it forward. That was a good thrust up front.
They are dominating the offensive line.
Cole gets the first down.
They are dominating the offensive line.
Well, with 11 minutes to go, Heritage Christian looks like they may get that victory. They're out of the Ironwood League in the southern section. Cole again looking for a trifecta. Inside the 5. Finally dropped in the secondary by El Camino's Shane Bogas. 1st and goal. Where would they go with the football? Simple handoff.
Play's over. Play's over. Second
Get
down.
there. Cole tried to get his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Just a simple give and power it into the end zone.
It's 2nd and goal. Again, El Camino showing some heart. Though in a sense, Heritage is in no hurry to score. They're milking the clock as they go. 2nd and 2 for a touchdown. Oh, what a defensive play by the big man. 52.
Williams.
Jaden Williams. That's the best defensive hit of the night.
Well, he finally showed penetration, and that's what happens when you finally get through the line of scrimmage. That's the
Jaden
first time
P.
tonight.
Williams, the senior,
First
who
time
can
tonight.
dominate.
First time tonight.
3rd and goal.
He's still alive. Isn't he dead yet?
Play fake. Langford throwing it. Incomplete.
Fourth down.
Looking for his splendid wide receiver, Austin Evans. It's 4th down. This is some goal line stand by the Royals.
I tell you what,
I think you got to take it and kick it here, make it a 32-13 game, but I don't know if they're going to do that. That makes it a 3-score game.
They've been dominating. Why would they try to kick it? Just take it in. You've been dominating the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but you've been stopped on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. But they are going to go for it.
it went all the way to that corner, okay?
Remember, they have a capable field goal kicker. 4th down, looking
Center
for the
screen.
touchdown.
Center screen.
They're not going to get there. Tadros is tripped up. What a job by El Camino.
They finally read that center screen.
Should have taken the 3. I'm telling you, that's the play. Why would you go for it there? You give life to El Camino with the stop. You have Regan Strife, who's a very good kicker.
When you've been he tripped up. He had a touchdown. The play was the right play. Again, it was wide open, center screen, and he just tripped.
Well, there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Not a whole lot, but there is still life for ECR. They need 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. How about that play by Jaden Williams. That was some hit.
You wanted to see that in the first quarter. That had to have happened all night, but it didn't.
Well, at least we saw it.
Williams came alive. That's when he basically had to do it. It was the big play for him tonight, but maybe a little too late.
Well, it's on number 12 to resurrect the Royals. Standing tall, that sidearm delivery is good for very little to Walker. Safety valve. Under 9 minutes to play in Northridge.
Hawkins was pressured again. He had to get rid of the ball.
Only a 1 yard gain. That's not going to get it done.
If you watch Heritage defensive linemen, they're making penetration. They're getting across the line of scrimmage and not stopped by Elko's offense. The offense should be attacking them.
Walker trying to bounce to the right side, and it's going to be third down for El Camino. That's just to take some of the pressure off of Hawkins trying to run the ball.
You saw Bold again anticipate the snap count. And he stuffed it. He got it right into the hole.
So the next time we see ECR on Channel 36, there will be reinforcements. And there'll be even stronger offensive team. Pass to Shirley, makes the catch in traffic. How did he come up with that ball? That's a heck of a play and a first down. Yeah, he's a verbal leader out there. He's a holler guy. And he backs it up with great play. This wasn't an easy catch.
Nope. Again, he had two defenders on him, and he still made the play.
Move the sticks. On first down, Hawkins again being pursued.
It's very disappointing to see that the offensive line not being able to stop Heritage.
Yeah, it didn't hold up on that play.
They haven't done a very good job all night long. I mean, again, it's incumbent upon them to attack the defender, and they're not. They're just catching the defensive lineman.
Sounds like you're ready to coach the offensive line.
I'm telling you, it's
see that clock running down. El Camino has to score, one would think, on this possession. Possessions at a premium when you're down 16.
Again, you see that their defensive line penetrated, and it's a 2-3 yard loss. They just can't stop that penetration by Heritage.
Third down and long. They need to convert. Pressure. Ball is loose. And run in for a touchdown for Aiden Preston. That's the big chap that you were watching in the pregame, the sophomore.
Yep. He dominated the defensive line for Heritage.
Well, that's a lineman's dream, isn't it?
Oh. It is.
See the joy on the sideline of the Warriors. That builds the lead to 35-13.
No blocking.
I like this kicker. Flag is out.
Encroachment. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Will still have an untimed down.
They're going to go for 2 here.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It was a fake kick anyway. They fake field goal, fake extra point. Oh, they're still going to go for it.
No, they're going to kick the PAT. They have a big lead. We want to work on the kicking game as well. There's that strong leg. Another flag. Kick was good. Well, it's 36-13 for the Warriors. What do you think of their football team? Can you get a feel for what they're all about?
Heritage Christian?
Yeah. They get the defensive score here as a hit, and it's scooped and scored nicely by Aiden Preston. Your thoughts on the Warriors?
Well, they're a young team, and they're playing a young team, but they've got a lot more maturity, and they've got a lot more poise, both offensively and defensively. They've got a game plan. They've executed. Their execution is better. Their special teams have demonstrated their talent, and Elko just can't compete. They just don't have the presence to go toe-to-toe with them. But I think that Heritage will have a challenge in their league if they're playing a higher level CIF or Southern Section program. They may have some difficulty with, again, dominating other defensive lines. Elko's defensive line just didn't show up tonight, nor their offensive line. I mean, it's a sad testimony when the kids don't show up to play.
Well, after the foul, we see it's brought back, and they'll have another kickoff. Regenstrife can really air it out here as he's kicking it from inside his 20. This is Jalen Carrillo. Can only get back to the 23-yard line. That's tremendous coverage as Andrew Tadros got downfield.
El Camino is not blocking anybody on special teams. They're running right past the Heritage defenders, and they're just not getting any field position on the exchange. This is a lesson that you watch on film, and you just wonder why these players are running past the defender. They're not blocking them.
Well, it appears that El Camino is going to fall in Northridge tonight, but still more experience, more snaps for this young and talented quarterback, Kevin Hawkins, the Hawk. Just a sophomore. And again, last week he was 21 of 30 in the air. And he's been accurate tonight for the most part. Unleashes another one to the sideline and misses Shirley. Cherry with the coverage.
13 Bolt put pressure on him again. He hit the gap, and Hawkins had to get rid of the ball.
What a game Nicholas Bolt has had. He has been in the backfield all night long, representing Heritage Christian.
And they just couldn't pick him up. That's one of the easiest things to see as an offensive lineman. When you've got a linebacker that's blitzing and your head's up, you're seeing him, you can block him. But Elko's just not seeing him. You can see how obvious it is.
Hawkins again running, breaking a tackle, and running well. Flag comes out. But you see the strength of Hawkins. Flag is behind the play, so that's an ominous sight for the Royals.
They were just chicken fighting.
Thanks, Tony. They were chicken fighting.
2 fouls on the play. Personal foul on the offense. Personal foul on the defense. Those penalties will offset. We'll replay second down.
But it takes away the fine effort of Hawkins. You like his tools.
He's going to develop. He's got every upside going for him. The more he learns the system, the more he learns his skills, and he takes confidence in what he's doing. he will be a force. He's a big, talented athlete. I don't see the penalty. Must have been behind the pile.
Well, they called it on both sides.
Chicken fighting.
Yep. It's getting chippier, although this is a friendly rival, even though they're not in the same section. These teams scrimmage against each other the last couple of years. The coaches, Huff and Zabalik, are close friends, respect one another. Royals will be back here next year, we're told. But it'll be a home game for Heritage Christian. That's a good look. Wide open target and incomplete. That could have very easily been a touchdown for ECR as Jaden K. Williams was open. That's the other Jaden Williams. How about you have two guys by the name of Jaden Williams? Jaden K. Williams.
And spelled the same way.
P. But that's why they have the
middle initial.
Yeah, Jaden P. Williams. That would have been a TD if the ball was there.
It
was underthrown.
Yeah, it was. Again, that's going to come with talent and time. Hawkins will be able to make that throw.
Second down and 10. Only thing in doubt now is the final score. Heritage Christian has this one wrapped up. Shirley with the grab. Tries to break free, but Tadros holding on for dear life and helps him up. There's some sportsmanship that you like to see.
That's it. That's exactly right. It's like these guys have played against each other before. They know each other, and they're there to be good sportsmen, and that's a definite example of it.
Andrew Tadros, number 10 in white, wide receiver linebacker. You see him make the stop with Shirley here. Has had an excellent game. Talk a lot about Bolt, but Tadros has been in on a lot of stops. Another one to Shirley.
Oh, and he threw it into coverage. He's lucky that didn't get picked.
Threw it with force.
He did. I mean, again, he just zipped it right in there. And, but again, Shirley was covered by two guys.
And I mentioned it in the first half. I don't know how El Camino is going to do this year. They got a rugged schedule. But it is going to be fun to watch Jake Shirley. And has been fun tonight. Making plays on both sides of the football.
He's taking the hits tonight.
Other one, this one to the sideline to Williams. Jaden Williams. Jaden K. Williams, to be exact. It's a little easier when one's on offense and one's on defense, and that's the case. The Jaden Williams.
Well, one's a lineman, and one's a receiver. So that's even better.
So they don't butt heads that way. It would be interesting if they're on the same side of the ball. See, we're down to 3:25 remaining.
Elko needs the score to make it respectable.
We used to say a little bit better in the morning newspaper, but there aren't newspapers anymore. Everything's online. Hawkins over the middle. This one's caught by Caden McCoy. Lost the handle, picked up by Walker. And Walker goes inside the 20.
It almost looked like that was a planned play, but it wasn't.
Well, put it in the playbook.
So one thing to work tonight.
Well, a few things have worked, but unfortunately not enough for ECR.
ECR will get better. They will work harder. They will study film, and they will start to execute.
Looking for his second touchdown of the night, either running or throwing it. This time he just throws it to the far side. Shirley on a deflected ball with a circus catch and a touchdown. Well deserved for Jake Shirley.
Double covered again. Notice that. And the ball was put right where it needed to be. Hawkins is learning. Great job.
How about the concentration level of Jake Shirley to stay with it and make the grab?
Watch the replay. You'll see the two defenders, and he's able to split them and make the play.
36-19.
Going to go for two.
This one's really up for grabs, isn't it?
There's two defenders right there, and he still makes the play. Concentration right on the ball, literally.
It was DJ Cole that deflected it. And Shirley ended up with it. Got his little dance.
Hope he doesn't get flagged.
He didn't. I don't have a problem with that. They shouldn't get flagged.
I agree.
Well, they'll go for two, down 17. The throw. No good. Intended for Caden John.
I didn't see Sanders anywhere. Is he still on the field, or is he not making a play tonight? One play, one touchdown.
Well, I'm happy for Jake Shirley, the senior, getting the score here late in the ball game on the deflection. But there's been progress tonight for ECR offensively. You can see that Jong is dejected. Wanted to make that grab, but offensively, 19 points, not a bad showing, but that 36 is a big spot. I know one of them came from the defensive side of the ball, but that's a lot of points for the Warriors to put up on the board.
Well, you get 20, you should win. But 36 is a lot.
And it's the way they got the 36. They controlled the ball, sustained drives, and they've kept the ECR at bay all evening long, and now we can anticipate the onside kick from Osintra. Or Sinatra. If you like that. Frank Osintra, but they do call him Frank Sinatra.
Well, then they had that one play, the mistake that Preston took into the end zone. And
well, they had a couple of them. They had the turnover earlier. And that was capitalized for a touchdown as well. After the fumble, they were able to take it in for the score of the Warriors.
Young teams make those mistakes, and Heritage made their mistakes on penalties. They probably could have scored two more times. So
now the Malik fumble was forced. That was a play where Bolt ripped it out of his hand. So you got to give Bolt credit as we promo our TV coverage of Prep Sports. On Wednesday, we have Prep Sports Night Live with Rich and Bob, Rich Estrella and Bob Gibson. And on Thursday night, we come back. That's an hour show for a half hour of live entertainment. Randy Rosenblum and Tariq Fatal. We can tell you, Harry Welch, fabled football coach, will be one of the guests.
Legendary.
Yeah, Harry's a one-of-a-kind. And what a great personality. He's in great shape. I mean, he looks like a guy that could still coach and play. And he's getting up there in age, but he looks the same. He's in great physical shape.
You know, Harry was on that LA Valley College staff with John Becker that won the state championship, and I got to see him at a couple reunions, and I got to see him for the Hall of Fame dinner and at Lenny Shufo's memorial service, and they were very close. And Harry is a true legend in the coaching business.
Again, you win state titles at 3 schools. That's off the charts. Only one to do it. All right, here will be the onside kick from Frank. Let's see what he can do. Covered by the Warriors. Again, North Hollywood is the location next week. Next Thursday, I'd go to the game. It's real close to where I live. I went to North Hollywood.
You are an alumnus.
Yeah, but I can't go to the game because we got the show. Got the prep show, a SoCal Prep Report, or I would go to the game.
Re-kick.
I'm going to try that kick again.
I hear you and Eric always discussing the Poly North Hollywood rivalry.
Enough with the rivalry. North Hollywood Poly. I don't think anyone else talks about the North Hollywood Poly rivalry. By the way, great renovations on campus at North Hollywood, and which probably irks some of these guys over at El Camino. They can't get their field fixed because Tony Critton gets some well-deserved rest and water, a liquid going in there. North Hollywood has a new gym, great new facilities there. And I know Bell's got some new facilities they're going to build there, and Southgate, some other schools are getting work done. And El Camino still hoping in short order to get their football field fixed. They haven't had a home game in 2 years.
Right.
And it's tough going on the road every week. And that's what made last year so impressive when they went on a winning streak. After a slow start at the beginning of the year, they got on a winning streak. Great win at Narbonne a year ago. But it is difficult. And Jason addressed that at halftime. He talked about getting on a bus every week. And
planning and make sure everything's got the I's dotted, T's crossed. And
it's a difference.
It is.
It's just easier to be at home.
And it's a lot of stress on the players, on the kids.
Well, we'll have another onside kick. So, for the moment, those games that we'll have on LA36 with El Camino will be on the road at Taft, at Chatsworth, at Granada Hills. But that still could change if the field is fixed. And that's a big if. One more time with the onside kick.
Oh, that's a good kick.
Convenient hop, and it's fielded by the Warriors. There's that man again, Tadros. Andrews everywhere.
He and number 13 made the big difference tonight.
Yeah, they've had
Bolt
quite a night.
Bolt is a playmaker, is a difference maker.
And so is 10 Andros.
Yeah.
Well, the West Valley League is going to go 2-4 this weekend. And I know they're playing some pretty good clubs, but that's a little bit disappointing. But Cleveland's off to a terrific start. Taft with a new coach.
You're impressed with that Taft program, right?
I think Fred's going to do a good job over there. Brand new coach. Very engaging guy. Run up the middle, and it opens up. It's been the story. The team that has run it better tonight is Heritage Christian. With their depth at running back, that time it was Byron Anderson doing the job.
If you want to look at what not to do with the defensive line, just watch El Camino. It's not what you want to do. They're just getting handled.
I think the only thing in doubt is will Heritage Christian get another touchdown? Boy, this group of backs.
Committee. It's a committee.
Well, the running back room, everybody refers to it as a room now, is really good. And we didn't see all that much of McCullough, but when he was in there, their star, he was great. It was Cole who was the big guy tonight. And that trend continues. They continue to run it effectively. Byron Anderson running low to the ground. I don't know if they're going to look to score here. They're good friends, these two coaches, so we'll see.
Players going to want to do it.
Yeah, they're going to want to execute.
They want to make it happen. They're not going to slow down. I mean, Heritage put a lot of their second string in, and they want to score. They want to demonstrate what they can do. They're not going to let up.
Well, they're near the red zone again, but as you can see, time is winding down. Anderson with the stiff arm inside the 20.
That's the first contain for the second half that Elko's had. They finally were able to shut down the outside, not let them turn the corner.
Well, on a warm night in Northridge, Heritage Christian is going to go to 1-1. Elko's going to fall to 0-2 on the young season. And again, Heritage Christian will host Hueneme, and they'll be the home team here next week. El Camino will continue to trek and go on the road to North Hollywood next Thursday.
Look at that surge. Look at the surge
Cole with it, going to the outside. DJ Cole out of bounds with 25 seconds left. First and goal.
Look at the replay and look at the surge of their offensive line.
DJ Cole looking for that hat trick.
He
got
wants
two
it,
scores.
yeah.
He really does.
See if they run and you look at that offensive line and they just drove Elko almost into the end zone.
Well, you know they're not going to throw it. They're running it on every down.
Why not? They're getting 7, 8, 10 yards at a crack.
He may kneel down. I don't think Brent Huff wants to score here. I've said that before. He does not want to pour it on against Jason, so he just sits on the ball. I think that's a class call.
It is. That is definitely a respect.
Well, there it is. That's going to be your final score, 36-19. Some things for ECR to build on offensively, defensively. They got some things to clean up.
They got a lot of things to clean up, and they're going to have to do it this week. They're going to be playing a tough North Hollywood team next week, and they're going to have to make these adjustments, at least defensively, if nothing else.
Yeah, the Huskies have a wonderful running back in Jalen Burt. And if ECR doesn't fortify that run defense, Jalen Burt is a big-time running back, and they run all the option stuff. They don't throw the ball a whole lot, the Huskies. They're going to have to figure that out before Thursday, so it's going to be a short week.
I don't know. I just, it's hard for commenting on this and not being like a broken record with what has to happen for El Camino, but there's not much you can say that's not needing some work. So.
Well, you broke a lot of records, didn't you? Speaking of broken records.
I am a broken record.
How about Shirley catching the ball tonight?
That
was
is
good.
Again, he makes
Got a
stuff
touchdown.
happen, and he does, but it's not enough. You can't depend on the one person. And Sanders, we didn't see a lot, and Hawkins had to run for his life. You just don't make that kind of mistake and expect to win a game.
By the way, our next game is the 29th of September. It's listed as a home game against Chatsworth, but it'll, in all probability, be at Chatsworth. There's the deflected ball to Jake Shirley for the touchdown. That was the third and final score of the night for the Royals and the dance. And there's the hit, the fumble, and I think number 7 is going to pick it up and lumber in Aiden Preston for the touchdown. So I'd put the final candle on the cake in a 36-19 victory for Heritage Christian. A final thought from Paul Zabalik.
Well, it's very hard to say good things, but there's a lot of work that can be done. There were some very good things that we saw with El Camino. And the bottom line is that when you look at the overall performance, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. They're going to have to do some very, very strong soul searching with their defensive line and their offensive line and to fix the errors. Special teams are a problem as well. They've got to work on it. Young teams have those problems.
But they have a good young quarterback in Williams. They have a great two-way player in Shirley. Some other guys came up with some plays. We saw that Williams hit late in the game, a great goal line, tremendous goal line stand. But celebrating are the Warriors, a 36-19 victory over El Camino Real. Thank you, Paul. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Randy. It's a pleasure always.
I want to thank our entire LA36 crew. Again, we'll have shows Wednesday at 7. Prep Sports Night Live with Rich and Bob, 7 to 8. And then on Thursday, SoCal Prep Report, 9 o'clock live. I'll be joined by Tariq Fatal. That's going to be a wrap for Paul. I'm Randy. We'll see you down the road. The next game again, September 29th against Chatsworth. 36-19. So long from Northridge.